Dare I ask, do you have one favourite island?
I get that's a lot. That's a lot. I've got to drive after this, guys. I get that
I'm sure
question asked a hell of a lot.
You probably have a top 5.
And I don't. It's like asking my favourite child. Mm-hmm. It's like asking him my favourite car.
Good analogy.
I know I have one wife, so I've got my favourite wife. But but what I do answer that question with is a follow-up question, and that is, what do you like when you visit a location, a place? Do you like history? Do you like hiking? Do you like adventure sports? And if someone answers all those questions, I can generally tell them 4 or 5 islands that they can go to.
Beautiful.
And it changes for every person, and every island does have its own identity. You've got to remember that these islands were separated by water, and only we can travel from Sydney to Athens in 23 hours. Today, you couldn't do that from island to island 150 years ago. We might even be able to go to close islands. So they were very distant from each other. So they, for the last 2,000 years, more in some cases 5,000 years, they've grown up in their own bubbles. So they've developed their own personalities according to the geography. If it's a mountainous region, there were ways of dealing with the sustainability. If it had plains, it was alluvial. If there was a lot of running water, there was a bigger population. So they all develop their own personality, and they're all different. So
I was going to say, because you'd think they'd be all the same islands. They're not too far apart, and one island looks like the other. But you're saying they're different. They've got different personalities.
And they do, and some of them have changed very, very little over the last 300 or 400 years. You go somewhere like Karpathos, and you walk through Olympos in Karpathos, and it would be exactly the same as it was 100 or 200 years ago. You go to Mykonos, though. Mykonos, 120 years ago, was the poorest island in Greece.
Wow.
The poorest island in Greece. Maybe less. In 1940, it was the poorest island in Greece. And then in 1952, they granted a mining lease. The Americans came in. They provided a fairly good remuneration package for the islanders there. They all learnt skills, driving machines, etc. Before you know it, Mykonos became a great place to be. And Mykonos doesn't have any clays, and as a result, it's a sandy geology, and the water is super clear all the time. You go to Namos, we talk about beaches. Go to Namos, and it is always clean. And you'd think it's because it's flushed or something, but the facts are it's the geology of the place that keeps it clean.
I mean, you're probably best placed to answer this question. What is it about the islands like Mykonos and Santorini that draw in so many foreign tourists at the expense of all these other islands? What is it? Is there something different about those particular islands that draws people in?
I think it's the history, the story. There's momentum. There's a lot of movies made on these islands. They're picturesque. People have, Santorini is very romantic. It's been romantic for me and my wife. And it's been romantic for a lot of people, a lot of weddings. People talk about these things, and as a result, they gain momentum, Unfortunately, people just turn up and think it's going to be fantastic. But if you turn up to Mykonos in July or August, or in Santorini in July or August, and it's your first Greek island, you may not have the best time you'll ever want to have,
Okay.
So there's a time to turn up to different islands, if I was travelling to Greece, to a Greek island, I would go to the smaller islands at peak season. July, August, I'd be going to the Koufounisi, I'd be going to Skinusa, I'd be going to Vonusa, Paxou, Antipaxou. And if I was travelling to the Greek islands in outside in May and September and October, I'd be going to Corfu, Santorini, Mykonos, because that's the edge of the season, not too many people, good time to go, and you'll have a good time, you'll see it well, Mykonos has got some wonderful history. Santorini's got some wonderful history, and it's got some beautiful wines there. The Arsitico there, you probably would have learned about it last week,
we
you know.
did.
So you probably had a few drinks as well. But
We did.
Plenty.
there's just, you've really got a time when you go to different places. And I hope that we have done that in cataloguing the different islands that we have.